Oh, the glare strikes again. Hello, my name is C, and today I'm unboxing for you from DiamondArtClub. This one is skipping ahead in my lineup. I have 2 other unboxings I still need to do. However, I have the strongest urge to start Moon Girl. So here we are. So I am going to do a full proper unboxing of Moon Girl and then a shorter version of the Wildwood. This is one that I saw like when it originally released. I'm like, it's very, very pretty, but totally not my style. And then I saw people working on it. I'm like, ooh, okay, now I need that. So here we are. I think this one doesn't have that much bling in it. Well, 2 ABs, 1 fairy dust. That's more than I thought. But I kind of want to add some more to that, but we'll get into it when I get there. So first things first, we're going to take a peek at Moon Girl. Alright, so on the front of the box, we have that rendering up top. Also a full look of it here. The name and artist of this one. So this is Moon Girl by Miss Butter D. I think, oh no, I have a different one. I was going to say, I think this is the first one by her I picked up. But no, I have Witchcraft Room. It's 58.6 by 78.7. Pink branding, and the circle on the front means that it is a square. On the side here, we have that rendering again, plus all of the colors. Ooh. How it works, kit contents, and all of our warnings. And at the very, very bottom here, we have all that information again in case you store your kits on top of each other. Alright. And here we have our toolkit. Which comes with DiamondArtClub's Twist and Pick pen. Comes with a nice little cover. You twist this. They're petty wax. I think it's combo both. I have no idea what it actually is. What does the toolkit say? Nope. Oh, wax refill. Anyways, you twist this enough, putty comes out the end, and then you have a spot for your multi-placer there. This one has a 4 on it. With the bag of baggies, it's usually not enough to fully kit up into, but it's a good start if you want to do that, or just for storing drills. And then we have our tray, DiamondArtClub's logo on the side, lid, the stopper, and then here we have that wax refill for the pen, regular pink heart wax, and then a 7-placer. So a nice good toolkit to get you started. Okay, we have our canvas. And a little thank you pamphlet, so it says thank you for your purchase. It includes tips and tricks, how to use that twist to pick pen, step-by-step instructions, QR code to the app, so that gets you 20% off. I also have an affiliate link down below. So there's that, but just use a coupon code at any point when shopping at DiamondArtClub. Doesn't matter where, just something. Kit contents and then the Facebook group. So it's a really good place to see kits worked on, completed, ask questions, the whole works. And then in here, we also got a trading card. This is a secondary reward system DiamondArtClub started. There is 4 tiers to these cards: bronze, silver, gold, and black. Collect enough, enough of each tier, and you can redeem them for rewards. I believe the lowest is like a $25 gift card up to a custom, which is what I'm aiming for. This one is a bronze. Alright, and then we have our sticker sheet. So it has Moon Girl and the artist there. There is that original artwork, start and end date at the top. 46 colors, round, and then that same size again. Let's take a peek. Ooh, oh, I like those colors. Oh, that's gonna be so pretty. We have 1 EB, 1 iridescent, 1 frosted, and 2 fairy dusts. So a ton of specials. I will explain them once we get into the kit. But this is a nice little brief overlook of all the colors. Okay, let's crack into this. Do I rip them today? Yes. Okay. Oh, this is the bottom of the kits. Oh, okay. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. Look at these bright yellows. Oh, her face. That's going to be fun. Ooh, okay, hold on. Hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, she is, my kit got a little, there we go. My kit got a little crunched in the corner there, but honestly, I will leave that out. Okay, I say leave it out. I'm kitting this one up right after I'm done filming. It'll flatten out in no time. Oh, she is stunning. I wish this glare would cooperate with me for once. Oh, she's so pretty. Look at her face and her hair. Oh, this is going to be so much fun to work on. As you can see, there's this grid on the top. That is DiamondArtClub's perforated cover, so wherever the lines are, it is pre-cut. So it's really easy to just tear apart the squares, and there's your section, if you choose to work on it that way. I tend to ignore them. So anyways, let's take a brief look at this canvas. I remember how to do this. There we go. So up at the top here we have Do It Make It Sparkle. There's a legend on the top left and bottom right of the kit. We will get there in just a moment. However, I wanted to take a quick second to talk about color blocking versus confetti. As I'm looking at this kit, I actually see a really good mix of both. Color blocking is when you have large patches of the same color. So this entire moon here is one color. So that's a really good example of color blocking compared to, let's go with like in her hair here, where you have a whole bunch of different symbols in a smaller area. And yeah, there is that color blocking. So when looking at this canvas, I see a ton of color blocking within this background. Of course, you have your small bits of confetti for transitional colors. But yes, lots of good chunks of colors within this background. And even like her skin tones in that. But again, more like this shirt is pretty much confetti. Her jewelry would be confetti. So that's an idea, if that's helpful. And then surprisingly, the background down here is more confetti heavy, but you still have those blocks of colors. Cool. Anyways, down at the bottom here, we have a thumbnail of the image and all the information about the kit. DiamondArtClub legally licenses, sorry, copyright. DiamondArtClub legally licenses all of their kits. Just means the artist has given permission and is being fairly compensated for the use of their artwork. We also have a discount code in the center of the kit here, socials, and then your lifetime warranty. So if anything goes wrong with your kit, this isn't poked. Sorry, I will show you something in a second. So if anything goes wrong with your kit, you spilled diamonds or missing a color, you run out of color, just a couple of examples, you can send them an email. As long as you are the original purchaser, and they will help get you sorted. Okay, hold on. I am going to grab another one, but you see here how it's just flat and scalloped. Let me show you something. Here's another DiamondArtClub kit that I'm currently working on, and it is poked. So something changed in the production line, or something was missed. To me, it doesn't matter. DiamondArtClub kits have never frayed on me, so I'm not worried about it. That's just an interesting notice. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna go put this down. Again, it won't damage or affect your kit at all. It's just something interesting that happened. And it's the entire thing. Huh. Anyways, okay. I'm gonna zoom us out just a touch for a second. Here are our diamonds. There's a brief look at those colors. So pretty. On the front here, we have the SKU and the name of the kit. So if you store things separately, you can easily match it up. This same number is obviously on the bottom of this kit. And you have all that information on your sticker sheet as well. There was a piece of hair. That is so gross. I'm sorry. So anyways, let's open these up. As I struggle. Okay. I typically do not read out DMC numbers. It does not end well. However, oh, I will pause for any specials. So our first one is Z3865. Z just means fairy dust. So it has this light mica powder dusted on the top of the diamonds that give them such a subtle shimmer. It's very, very pretty when placed, and probably one of my favorite diamonds, or special diamond types. On whites, it is very hard to see, but I think we have another color that will make it just a little easier to see. So let's keep going. There's 2 bags of that white fairy dust. Again, I've worked on some more recent rounds from DiamondArtClub, and I have to say they are really nice. I like the sparkle, and it definitely feels like the grid field has been tightened up a little bit, so they fit really nicely together. Here's another special. This is one of their newer ones. This is M5200. M just means frosted diamond. So it's kind of like, it's really, really hard to see, but it's not faceted, and it kind of has this, I always think of it as candy. There's a very specific candy in mind, but it's like this very, I don't know, it's very smooth, and it doesn't sparkle like the other ones, but they're really, really neat. If I completed a kit with this one, with these before, and they look so cool. Anyways, there's 2 bags of those. I would say check out my June month in review if you would like to see that kit. It is Drake and some books. DiamondArtClub also sorts their colors by weight, which is why they're not necessarily in order, but it goes from most to least depending how you grab the strands. But there's so many pretty colors in here. This is gonna be so much fun to work on. 3831, very, very pretty. Ooh, 445, depending where that one is, might need to be replaced. I might make that a special. We'll see where it is. Here is our second and last fairy dust, Z742, a nice bright orange. You could kind of see that shimmer right on the top there better than the whites. Very pretty. Alright, our next one is AB741, another bright orange. AB stands for Aurora Borealis, is that iridescent coating that is placed on top of the diamonds that shine like the northern lights. So you'll see lots of greens, purples, and blues. And then we also have L307. L is an iridescent or a crystal diamond. So silver backing, kind of like a see-through glassy effect. And this one is bright yellow. They're very, very pretty and catch the light in such an interesting way. They're very neat. I think that's all of our specials. Yep. And these are just small handful colors, really just there to add some depth to the shading. Cool. Let's Alright, let's take a look and see where those all go. Alright, so that black square will be our AB, the little arrow for our iridescent, dot for that frosted, hat for that orange fairy dust, and equal signs for the white fairy dust. So I will do my best to remember those, and let's take a look. So that white fairy dust is actually sprinkled within the background here. It's also doing some highlighting right in her hair here and along here, so that's that white fairy dust. And then we get into, I'm just gonna move this down just a touch so we can see the full thing. This entire moon is that frosted diamond, so that kind of like matte finish shade looking one. Also the stars in the background are the frosted. Any of the bright white that you see in her hair is that fairy dust. We have that iridescent right in the moon of her face there. Actually, this entire moon is specials. The brightest yellow is that iridescent, the crystal. Then we have our AB, or sorry, then we have the fairy dust, and then the majority is that AB. It's the same thing here. We have the orange, the dark orange there is that AB, followed by the fairy dust, and then the iridescent. That'll be neat. Okay, you know that bright yellow that I said I might actually change? It is highlighting within her hair up here, and in the bow there. I might actually make that an AB. I think I have that. That's 445. Any sort of pale yellow would really work there. I think 129. Was that right? There we go. 129 AB would work there really nicely. Sorry, I got distracted. So that may be something I change. Anyways, you have more of those. The fairy dust and AB highlighting the jewelry there. More there, you have the iridescent and fairy dust in her nose ring. Again, all of her freckles, that's really cute detail. Her freckles, like the whites of them, is that white fairy dust, followed by the center of her eyes here. Oh, that's cute. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Again, the jewelry has iridescence, that the yellow iridescent, the orange fairy dust, and the orange AB, and that kind of continues throughout the entire thing. Yeah, there's more of that yellow here. I'm like, yeah, I think I really want to change that. Ooh. And it's highlight. Alright. And it's highlighting the inside of her shirt here. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to add an AB to this one. And then we have that orange AB over here. The orange fairy dust there. Again, still the stars as that frosted diamond. I'm losing my words, I'm so sorry. So we have the frosted diamond, all of the little dots, and the brightest white in her hair is still that that white fairy dust. All of the clouds are pretty much highlighted, like this giant patch is fairy dust. All of the clouds is fairy dust. I want to say like the fabric on top of her shorts, anything that's outlined here is that fairy dust. It goes along the outside there. Ooh, that is an orange AB iridescent right in the center here. Yeah, and then iridescent and AB on her wrist. Iridescent and fairy dust on her rings over here. I think I found most of the specials. So anyways, this is very, very pretty. I wonder what 152 is. No, I won't change that. I'm just going to add the yellow. Anyways, this is Moon Girl. I am going to go kit her up, and I will come back later with progress on this kit. Either progress or finished. We will find out at the same time. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up. Nope. I'm going to set this one aside and grab the next one. Alright, so this one's going to be a much quicker look. We're just going to take a peek at the canvas and the diamonds and find those specials. Okay. We have another bronze. And here is that full artwork there. 39 colors, that's surprising. 50.7 by 65.8. Ooh, this one still has the old AB style, so we have 2 ABs and 1 fairy dust. In some of the older Diamondart Club kits, recent ones, they've changed it to be like their ABs to match the fairy dust style of the newer drills. Their older ones, they had their own numbering system. Sorry. So anyways, oh, I ripped it again. Nice. Ooh, we're starting up at the top. Oh, look at her hair. Okay, this kit is like confetti, but there's like some line blocking within the background, but it is confetti. Oh, these colors are so bright. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it would have been a little duller to match the artwork, but this is pretty. There are those colors there. Lots of browns, as to be expected. But oh, this is gorgeous. I don't think I need to roll this one backwards. No, I really don't. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay. Oh, I really love this. Not surprisingly. I love these colors. I should start this one soon too. Anywho. When I said I wanted to change things, so we can do this now. I really want to highlight some of the colors in her hair. So these bright oranges, those equal signs are 721. I will most likely make that an AB. And then we also have 921 highlighting in her hair, which is another orange, and I will probably make that a fairy dust. And it continues down in here. I don't know, something about that seems really appealing. Of course, as long as I have those, I have to look through all of my spares and actually take a peek. I don't think I have an orange. Hilly. Because what is that? No, oh, 921. Hold on. No, I don't have that. That sucks. Okay. Well, I don't have that in my organized stuff. I have bags over here. But anyways, okay, this is very pretty. Let's crack into the diamonds here. Sorry, that was gross. As to be expected, we are starting with a ton of black, darker browns. I expect a lot more of this dark brown, in all honesty. But there are plenty of other shades. Yeah, this is like every shade of brown in the world. Ooh, 814 might be a fun change, depending where it is. We'll have to find it. But there's 921. That is one of the diamonds I would like to change. That is the one I want to make into an orange fairy dust for her hair. A teeny tiny handful of colors. Here's our first AB in this one, 107, that bright red. I really love that AB. Not a whole lot of it. And then we also get Z3790. That is gorgeous. Oh, I love that. It's kind of have like this coppery shimmer to the top of it. Oh, that's so pretty. Yeah, and the 921, that's the orange I would like to make into an AB. Where are you? 608? That's a bright color. Anyways, very pretty. Ooh, and then we have some reds. Our second AB, 117. Nice taupey one. I wonder where that goes. And then another bright red. So, let's zoom back on up. Did I say? Okay, it looks more green here, but I really want to see if I have something to highlight within these leaves and vines around her. I think that would be really fun. But anyways, let's look for the actual specials that come with this kit. So the bright red is actually in the center of this rose, highlighting along the edge, the center of this rose, and along in here. Oh, also the one in her hand has some there. That fairy dust is actually these dots all along the, I don't know if you want to call it, the window, like the frame. Yeah, the photo frame. So all of those dots is that fairy dust. Ooh. Those fours, do I want to make that a fairy dust too? I might. To highlight her antlers, that'd be cool. yeah, I really want to highlight one of the greens within these vines. I think that's very pretty. Again, that fairy dust continues all the way down. We have the ones in the center of the rose here. Just a couple on the edge of this rose. Again in the center, and then the edges of these roses down here. And then that too is actually the brightest color that you see in her corset, so this entire center column is that taupey one, and then it's highlighting in the frills. So nice subtle shades of those specials. Not a whole lot of them, but it totally makes sense for the artwork. Yeah, you know what, I'm really gonna look into finding some oranges to highlight in her hair, her antlers, and then something within this rose, or the vines of the rose. All right, I'm gonna wrap this one up and come back with some sort of clip for Moon Girl. Hello, I am just popping in now to say I am almost done this one, but I'm going to frame it as it is completed. Anyways, here is Moon Girl. She is gorgeous. Oh, I have to say, I truly love all the specials in her jewelry. Not totally sure how I feel about the crystals in her forehead, but I think it's very, very pretty. I think from a distance, it really does come together. It really draws your eye towards her moon there. But this is such a pretty kit. I will say, now this has been a puzzle for me. I love, these are those, the frosted. This is so much fun just to run my hand over and touch. I'm having a great time here. Like these ones are really sharp and pointy, and these ones are super smooth. It is so much fun. But yes, the entire moon is that frosted, and it is so, so pretty. Other than that, this is a gorgeous kit. I really love this one. And it worked up really quickly too. I think only like 3 or 4 days spent working. Well, no. 4 days actively working on it. There's a couple days where I like placed barely anything. But yeah, it's a super pretty kit. It turns out amazing. I really love this one. So yeah. I don't have too much to say. Oh, I did say earlier in this video, weeks ago now for me, that I was going to add a pale yellow AB, and I did. And I really, really like it. It adds some highlights throughout her hair and a gentle shimmer along her shirt here. So I think it really was, I'm glad I added it, is what I'm going for. It's also more of it highlighting at the top of her head there too. So anyways, I am now leaving this video here. Let me know your thoughts down below. Okay, I'll stop being cheeky. This is how much I have left to do. But I am just trying to get things finished. I have a whole bunch of videos on the gold that I would like to finish up, so this is one of them. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. I am so happy I worked on this one. It is just gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna stop repeating myself. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.